Models are run from the model builder screen, so you need to make sure, check along your top navigation buttons to make sure you're at model builder, and since this is not clickable, we know we're there. And the next thing that you have to do is to select a model domain. The model domain selector is a drop-down list that contains a list of what I call model domains, which are essentially folders for you to store models and share models among users. I'm going to assume for this example that you do not have any models of your own. So in that case, we have provided a folder or model domain called sample data of models that will allow you to get familiar with the system. The next thing to do in order to run the model is to go to the function menu. So down in this function menu, we look over to the right, we see run model component right here, and we want to select the radio button next to it. Once we've selected run model component, a panel should appear below the function menu entitled select model to run. This is a list of various models that we have at our disposal in the sample domain, in the sample data domain. And we're going to scroll down until we find a model entitled Simple Ltka-Volterra Predator-Prey Model. Okay. Ltka-Volterra Predator-Prey model is basically a model that represents two different populations, one a predator and one's a prey. For this example, we have fox as a predator and rabbit as a prey. We're going to go down a little farther and you should see a checkbox saying show cached model output. We'll leave that checked, and then a button that says run model. So in order to run the model, all we do is click that. The model run output screen is separated into several panels. The first panel is model controls, which you have another run model button that lets you run your model again or redraw your graphs if you need to. The second panel is the run log, which shows some text output of the most recent model run. For our purposes right now, we're most interested in seeing some real visualizable output. So we go to the graphs panel, and that shows the results of any graphs that you may have produced. For this one, we can see we have our graph of our population of fox and rabbit and how they are dependent upon one another. The brown curve here is our rabbit population, and the red curve here is our fox population. Now they look as if they're pretty similar magnitudes, but that's only because this is an example of a two-axis graph. So we can see the left axis has very high numbers going, which is indicative of the rabbit population, which exceeds 8,500 during this simulation at its peak. The right axis is our fox population. So we can see there that the fox population only goes up to about 340. If we scroll down, we have a second graph in this model, and it's basically the same graph as we saw before, but this time both populations are listed with a single axis, and you can note that because there's only one axis present on the graph. We see our rabbit population here, and then our fox population, which is much lower down there. And that's all there is to running a model.